Welcome to ME STOIC. Have you ever wondered what happens to your body and mind as you grow older, especially when it comes to intimacy and sexual health? As we age, our physical and emotional needs evolve, but many of us shy away from talking about it. If you're over 50, this video could provide insights that resonate deeply with you. In this video, we'll break down the facts and myths surrounding masturbation in old age, exploring its impact on both the body and the mind. You might be surprised to learn how this intimate practice affects your physical well-being and emotional health. We'll discuss everything from the physical benefits such as improving circulation and boosting mood, to the psychological aspects like enhancing self-esteem and body confidence. But that's not all what happens when masturbation becomes excessive or compulsive. We'll dive into the potential risks, including physical discomfort and emotional isolation, and how they can affect relationships with partners. Whether you're curious about how it influences your overall health or concerned about the emotional impact it might have, this video will give you the answers you need by the end. You'll have a clearer understanding of how to maintain a healthy relationship with your body and your sexuality in your later years. So stay tuned and watch till the end, because pleasure knows no age, but balance is key. If you are not subscribed, I recommend subscribing and activating the notification bells so you don't miss any videos. Your support means a lot to me, and if you enjoyed this video, you can help me continue spreading the valuable lessons by liking and sharing it. If you like the topic of this video, please comment 1. If you don't, please comment 0 to let me know how I can improve and make better videos for you. Now, let's begin. As people grow older, their relationship with their bodies changes in ways that can be both challenging and empowering. For many older individuals, masturbation becomes a vital way to maintain a connection with their physical self. As the years go by, the body naturally undergoes a variety of changes. One of the most noticeable is the decrease in the production of hormones like testosterone and estrogen, which can significantly alter sexual desire for many. This decline leads to a shift in how intimacy is experienced. Sex may not feel the same, and desires may seem to diminish. But it is essential to recognize that desire doesn't simply vanish with age, it merely manifests differently. Masturbation can become a powerful and liberating way to rediscover pleasure, offering a form of intimacy without the pressures, expectations, or societal judgments often attached to sexual relationships in youth for older people. This process of exploring their bodies and pleasure is not just about physical release, it's about regaining control, self-awareness, and connection to a part of themselves that might have been neglected over time. It is a form of self-care, a moment of solace in a world that often ignores the sexual and emotional needs of the elderly. The act of masturbation allows one to experience intimacy on their own terms and to rediscover pleasure in ways that are free from the limitations or expectations society may impose on older individuals. The benefits of masturbation in older age are not just physical, they are emotional. 2 medical studies consistently show that regular self-stimulation has numerous positive effects on the body. For instance, it helps maintain healthy blood circulation to the genitals, which can prevent tissue atrophy from disuse. And in a world where stress is an undeniable part of life, masturbation has the wonderful side effect of releasing endorphins, those so-called happiness hormones that can uplift mood and ease anxiety. These endorphins are powerful, especially for older individuals, helping to fight off the mental and emotional strain that often comes with aging. Moreover, regular masturbation can be a key factor in improving sleep quality for many elderly people. Getting restful, deep sleep is essential for maintaining overall health and well-being. The physical relief that comes from self-stimulation can ease the tension and discomfort that might otherwise disrupt sleep. making it an essential part of maintaining a positive quality of life in later years. But the benefits of masturbation extend far beyond the physical realm. They are deeply psychological as well. In this stage of life, self-exploration can become a form of reclaiming one's own body, reinforcing self-esteem, and creating a renewed sense of body positivity. Aging is often accompanied by feelings of loss, not only of physical vitality, but also of control over one's own body. As the body changes, the mind can begin to feel disconnected from it. Masturbation becomes a powerful tool to combat this disconnection, offering a chance to reconnect with oneself. It is an intimate act that reaffirms a sense of autonomy and agency, allowing people to feel empowered in a way that helps them embrace the aging process rather than fear it. However, it is important to acknowledge that, like any pleasurable activity, masturbation can become problematic if practiced excessively. While it can be a healthy outlet for physical and emotional expression, when it becomes compulsive, the negative consequences can outweigh the benefits on a physical level. Too much stimulation can cause hypersensitivity, leading to discomfort or even a temporary dulling of sensation. This can create a frustrating cycle where more stimulation is needed to achieve the same level of satisfaction, which can in turn lead to emotional distress, anxiety, or guilt. This in itself is not unusual. Many activities can become compulsive when used as a coping mechanism. It is important to recognize the fine line between using masturbation as a healthy form of self-care and letting it become a dependency that hinders personal growth or connection to others. It is easy to get trapped in the cycle of self-stimulation when it temporarily provides relief from loneliness, stress, or emotional pain. But this can inadvertently isolate a person even more for older adults who may already be struggling with social isolation. Excessive masturbation can deepen the feelings of loneliness and emotional disconnect rather than provide the healing and comfort they seek. Ultimately, the key is balance. Masturbation in older age, when practiced mindfully and in moderation, can be an incredible tool for maintaining physical, emotional, and psychological well-being. It helps keep the body in touch with itself, enhances emotional health, and provides a sense of control that may be lacking in other aspects of life. But it's crucial to keep a watchful eye on how it affects one's overall life. If it starts to interfere with other areas of life, such as relationships, physical health, or emotional connections, it might be time to pause and reflect on the underlying reasons for the shift. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment one below to let me know that you are still here with me. Masturbation in old age is not a topic often discussed, but it deserves to be. It's not just about seeking pleasure, it's about embracing the human experience at every stage of life. By maintaining this balance, we can ensure that intimacy, even with ourselves, continues to be a source of joy, comfort, and self-empowerment. Well into our later years, the true impact of excessive masturbation in old age goes far beyond just the physical effects. Its emotional and psychological consequences are often profound and deeply unsettling. In my practice, I've encountered many elderly individuals who over time begin to view masturbation not just as an occasional activity, but as an emotional escape, a refuge from the complex emotions that are an inevitable part of aging. As we age, our emotional landscape often shifts. We may face a growing sense of loneliness, anxiety, or even depression, particularly as the social structures and family relationships we once relied upon begin to fray. As children move away, friends pass on, or family ties weaken. The elderly can find themselves alone, facing a world that feels increasingly unfamiliar and disconnected. For many older adults, masturbation becomes a means of coping with these emotions, offering temporary relief from the painful feelings of isolation and loss. It's a brief, fleeting moment of comfort, a solitary experience that provides an emotional escape when the external world seems cold, distant, and indifferent. What begins as an occasional release, a momentary form of comfort, can slowly, almost imperceptibly, turn into something far more problematic, a compulsive habit. This transition often happens gradually, so much so that the individual may not even realize it. At first, masturbation may serve as an occasional distraction or a temporary means to relieve emotional pain. However, over time, it can become the primary way to cope with the difficult emotions that come with aging. It becomes a regular part of the person's emotional toolkit, overshadowing other healthier ways of dealing with stress, loneliness, or anxiety. The real danger lies in this transformation when masturbation becomes the sole source of emotional comfort. It can quickly deepen the cycle of isolation and detachment instead of reaching out to others, whether friends, family, or a community. The individual may retreat further into self-stimulation, relying on the solitary act to fulfill their emotional needs. This retreat into isolation is not just a physical act. It becomes an emotional withdrawal from the world around them. The more an individual depends on masturbation as an escape, the more disconnected they feel from those around them. The cycle becomes even more entrenched as the emotional void grows wider and the person becomes less and less motivated to seek out meaningful human connections. They may feel as if they are slipping away from society, becoming more and more trapped within the confines of their own body and mind. This emotional withdrawal can be incredibly harmful. Not only does it contribute to further loneliness, but it can also create feelings of guilt, shame, and self-loathing. The person may begin to feel that their only solace lies in self-pleasure, which can lead to an increased sense of detachment from their own identity. In these cases, masturbation becomes less about physical pleasure or self-exploration and more about avoiding emotional discomfort. It's no longer a source of joy or connection. It becomes a means of numbing or escaping from the deeper emotional struggles that need to be addressed. The psychological effects of this excessive masturbation are far-reaching. Emotional isolation can lead to a decline in mental health, contributing to depression or anxiety. Over time, the person may feel like they are losing control of their life, their body, and their sense of purpose. The cycle of emotional numbness becomes harder to break as the person withdraws even further, not just from social interactions, but from their own emotions. They may begin to feel as if they are simply going through the motions of life without truly living. As the isolation deepens, so too does the internal struggle. Feelings of inadequacy and unworthiness can creep in, exacerbating the emotional toll of their behavior. The mind begins to echo the body's isolation, creating an emotional chasm that feels impossible to cross. What's worse is that this emotional withdrawal can cause a ripple effect in other aspects of life. The elderly person may stop seeking the physical touch or emotional affection that can be so vital at this stage of life. The desire for connection with others becomes replaced by a desire for self-sufficiency in terms of emotional and physical release over time. This could lead to the deterioration of important relationships. Whether with children, partners, or friends, it becomes easy for someone who is emotionally withdrawn to neglect or push away those who care about them further. Reinforcing the cycle of loneliness, they may inadvertently create a wall between themselves and their loved ones, which can lead to long-term emotional strain in familial or romantic relationships. The more the elderly individuals seek solace and masturbation, the more they may feel that they are disconnected from the world around them. What was once a natural and healthy expression of intimacy becomes a form of avoidance, rather than addressing the deeper emotional issues that drive loneliness, anxiety, and depression. The person may continue to turn inward. This emotional disconnection from others can be devastating. it can lead to a loss of purpose and joy in life, especially as the person becomes increasingly isolated in both body and mind. In these circumstances, it becomes clear that excessive masturbation, particularly in old age, is not simply a matter of physical overindulgence. It's a complex emotional and psychological issue that must be addressed. It's crucial to recognize the underlying emotional triggers that drive the compulsion to seek comfort in this solitary activity, rather than continuing to retreat into this habit. It's important to encourage elderly individuals to seek out support, engage with their community, and open up about their emotional struggles. So connection, emotional intimacy, and the expression of feelings are vital for mental health. Especially as we age. Without these, the person may find themselves increasingly isolated, disconnected, and emotionally depleted. In conclusion, excessive masturbation in older age can be a deeply damaging practice, not just physically, but emotionally. While it may offer temporary relief from feelings of loneliness and isolation, it can ultimately lead to a greater disconnection from the world and the people who care about the individual. It's important to recognize that true emotional well-being in old age comes from building meaningful connections with others and embracing a full range of human experiences, pleasure, affection, and emotional support. When masturbation becomes the only outlet, it cuts off the person from the possibility of deeper emotional fulfillment and connection. And that, in the end, is what we all need most, no matter our age. Human connection, love, and the warmth of knowing that we are seen, heard, and valued by others. From a medical perspective, research sheds light on the potential consequences of constant masturbation in older adults. While masturbation itself is not inherently harmful, as with any activity, excessive indulgence can lead to negative physical and psychological effects. Clinical studies have demonstrated that compulsive masturbation can result in both physical and mental fatigue, leaving older individuals feeling drained, lethargic, and often unable to summon the energy needed to engage in other essential activities. This fatigue isn't just confined to one's mood or emotional state. It seeps into everyday life, affecting their ability to perform even routine tasks. Mental exhaustion can erode motivation, leading to a noticeable decline in the desire to partake in activities that are vital for overall well-being. Particularly physical exercise, physical activity, is especially crucial for older adults, as it plays a key role in maintaining mobility, strength, and cardiovascular health. The importance of staying active cannot be overstated for older adults. Regular physical exercise helps prevent the decline in muscle mass and bone density, improves circulation, and keeps the heart healthy. Unfortunately, when excessive masturbation consumes the time and energy that would otherwise be spent on exercise or physical activity, it can deprive individuals of these vital benefits. As a result, they may experience a decline in their physical health, which can compound other age-related issues, such as decreased stamina and reduced flexibility. Equally concerning is the impact that excessive masturbation can have on interpersonal relationships. Many elderly individuals live alone, and masturbation may serve as a way to fulfill sexual desires when they don't have a partner. However, for those who do have partners, excessive self-stimulation can create emotional and physical rifts between them. In my clinical experience, I have observed cases where frequent masturbation has replaced the need for intimacy with a spouse or partner. What starts as a simple act of self-pleasure can over time take priority over the shared, deeply emotional connection that is so essential in long-term relationships. This gradual shift can result in both emotional and physical distance between partners, leading to a breakdown in the bond that once united them. The intimacy that couples once shared can begin to unravel as masturbation replaces the deeper emotional connection that comes from mutual affection and sexual interaction instead of seeking closeness, affection, and intimacy with their partner. Individuals may retreat into their private worlds. The physical act of masturbation becomes the primary outlet for sexual release, overshadowing the emotional intimacy that is so critical to maintaining a strong, healthy relationship. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment Toby below to let me know that you are still here with me. In these cases, it becomes imperative to find a balance. Masturbation, when practiced in moderation, can be a healthy part of one's life, even in older age. However, when it starts to interfere with or replace the emotional and physical connection between partners, it's time to reassess its role in one's life. Ensuring that intimacy with a partner remains a priority is essential not just for the health of the relationship, but for the overall well-being of both individuals. Finding that balance where masturbation does not overshadow the need for closeness and shared experiences is key to maintaining healthy relationships. In older age, older adults must recognize that while masturbation can be a natural and healthy part of life, it should never replace the emotional and physical bonds that sustain intimate relationships over the long term. On an emotional and psychological level, the effects of excessive masturbation can be even more profound, especially for those who were raised in environments where sexuality was regarded as taboo, shameful, or even sinful. Many older adults carry with them deeply ingrained feelings of guilt and shame about their sexual desires, feelings that were often instilled during their formative years, when they were taught that sexual expression was something to be hidden, repressed, or even condemned. In my practice, I have spoken with numerous elderly individuals who, when engaging in masturbation, experience an intense internal conflict caught between the pleasure of the act and the overwhelming remorse that follows. This battle, often unspoken and deeply personal, creates an emotional and psychological strain that can be incredibly exhausting. These individuals are torn between their natural urges and the shame they feel for giving in to them, leading to feelings of deep distress, confusion, and self-loathing. For many, this internal struggle is a heavy burden, one that diminishes their emotional well-being and leaves them feeling disconnected from their bodies. It's crucial to recognize that sexuality, regardless of age, is an intrinsic and positive part of being human. It's not something to be feared or suppressed yet. For many older adults, the lingering shame from a lifetime of repression makes it difficult for them to embrace their sexuality fully and without guilt. This sense of guilt can cloud their ability to enjoy even the most basic of pleasures, leaving them feeling as though they are doing something wrong or unnatural. When they engage in self-pleasure, for these individuals, it's essential to take a step back and reframe the way they view their sexual desires. We are all deserving of joy and fulfillment regardless of age, and we should not have to carry the weight of guilt or shame when exploring our sexuality. When we begin to view sexuality as a natural, empowering aspect of our lives, we can move past the barriers of guilt and shame and embrace our bodies and our desires with dignity, respect, and self-love. In conclusion, while masturbation can be a healthy, natural, and positive experience for older adults, it's vital to practice it in moderation and with awareness. When it becomes an emotional escape or a compulsive habit, it can lead to isolation, emotional fatigue, and strain on personal relationships. It's important to strike a balance that allows masturbation to remain a source of pleasure and self-empowerment, without letting it take the place of real, meaningful connections with others. The need for emotional support. Affection and companionship doesn't disappear with age, and it's essential to recognize that intimacy, whether physical or emotional, is a vital part of a fulfilling life. Masturbation should never become a substitute for these deeper connections, and it's crucial to maintain a sense of balance and moderation. In doing so, we can ensure that our sexuality continues to be a source of joy, self-expression, and empowerment, not a way to avoid the real support and connections that are essential for our emotional and psychological well-being in later life. However, when masturbation becomes an emotional escape that gradually replaces meaningful human connection, it's a signal that other forms of emotional support may be needed, relying solely on self-stimulation. For comfort can lead to greater isolation, and in such cases, seeking support from loved ones, friends, or even professional therapy becomes essential. Human connection, whether through shared experiences, conversations, or physical affection, is fundamental to our emotional well-being, and when it's lacking, we can become trapped in cycles of loneliness and withdrawal. Therapy, or even just spending quality time with those we care about, can offer the kind of emotional support that self-pleasure cannot provide, helping to rebuild a sense of community and connection that's so crucial for mental health. Especially as we age. In the broader context of physical health, it's essential to debunk some common myths surrounding masturbation in older adults. Contrary to some misconceptions, there is no medical evidence to suggest that masturbation leads to permanent damage to sexual organs or accelerates the aging process. The act itself has no direct link to conditions like prostate cancer or serious sexual dysfunctions. The body, as we know, undergo natural changes with age, but masturbation does not cause these changes or exacerbate them. This is an important point to emphasize, as many older adults carry misconceptions about the harm that masturbation might cause, often feeling embarrassed or fearful of engaging in the ACT due to these unfounded beliefs. However, while masturbation is not harmful in itself, as I've mentioned earlier, excessive or compulsive masturbation can lead to certain physical and emotional consequences over time. It can cause physical exhaustion and may even reduce the long-term benefits it provides. The immediate sense of relief or pleasure can eventually give way to feelings of fatigue or dissatisfaction as the body and mind begin to lose their response to the repeated stimulation. This can create a vicious cycle where more frequent masturbation is needed to achieve the same level of relief, which in turn can increase feelings of frustration and anxiety. Masturbation in old age, when practiced in moderation, is a completely natural and healthy ACT. It offers a way to maintain the circulation and elasticity of genital tissues, which is important for overall physical health. Additionally, it provides an emotional outlet during times of stress, anxiety, or loneliness, allowing individuals to regain a sense of comfort and well-being. However, the key lies in maintaining balance. Like any other aspect of life, moderation is essential. If masturbation becomes a daily or compulsive habit that begins to interfere with other important aspects of life, such as social interactions, physical health, or emotional connections, it's time to take a step back and reflect on the reasons behind this behavior. The most important thing to remember is that pleasure knows no age. It is not something to be ashamed of or suppressed, but something to be embraced, regardless of our stage in life. The goal is not to avoid pleasure, but to find a healthy balance that allows us to enjoy it without letting it become a birth burden or a substitute for more meaningful connections. When we approach our sexuality with self-compassion and moderation, we can enjoy it fully in a way that enhances our overall well-being rather than detracting from it, whether it's through intimate connections with others or self-pleasure. The key is to ensure that our desires and actions align with a healthy, balanced life. As we wrap up today's discussion, let's take a moment to reflect on what we've learned together. Masturbation in old age is a natural practice that, when done in moderation, can offer both physical and emotional benefits. However, it's important to understand the potential risks of excessive or compulsive behavior and how it can impact not only our physical health, but also our emotional well-being and relationships. Finding a healthy balance is key to ensuring that our sexual health remains a positive and empowering aspect of our lives as we grow older. Now, I'd love to hear from you. What is one thing you've learned from this video that you will bring into your life or practice moving forward? Please share your thoughts in the comments section below. I truly value your insights and reflections. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to leave a comment, like, share and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more content like this. Thank you for watching, and I look forward to hearing your thoughts. See you in the next video.